Hello and welcome back. My name is Anam and we are here building a community to talk about spirituality, life experience design, critical thinking, empowerment and creativity and so much more. So since I'm just starting out, I write scripts. This is only just the second one and I read from them, so I'm sorry if it sounds a bit rehearsed. When I practice it myself, things flow so much better, but as soon as the camera turns on, as soon as I sit in this setup, I'm just not used to it. Yeah, please stick around and I will get better, promise. Okay, so I am a visual designer by vocation. I've been to design school twice, bachelor's in design and a master's in visual communication design. So I've had a relationship with creativity for a very long time, and over this long time it has evolved tremendously. Also, I've come to learn that creativity does not just apply to artists or designers or painters or architects. It applies to everyone. Every one of us is a creative, whether you are a homemaker or a chef or a scientist, a doctor, engineer, it doesn't matter. We are all creative in our own ways. Creativity is basically a way of thinking, but I grew up with this understanding that creativity is something you're born with. You either have it or you don't. It's a natural talent, it's a natural gift. I also equated creativity with the ability of drawing. Yeah, and there's a time when I focused more on the ability of using tools like Photoshop, Illustrator, etc. If I'm proficient in them, I'm creative. If I'm not proficient in them, I'm not creative. So I had these limiting beliefs that caused me to not have self-confidence that I am creative. I always second-guessed my ideas. I stressed that I don't know how to finish an assignment. I would get stuck in a downward spiral that I'm not creative enough. Even though on paper I was doing well, my design skills were progressing, my understanding of creativity was deepening, but internally I still believed that because I'm not born with it and because I cannot draw amazing, I'm not creative enough. I couldn't allow myself to enjoy the process, whether in schools or in jobs, because a significant amount of my energy was consumed by these limiting beliefs. It felt like I was existing in two dimensions. Physically, where I'm doing all the artwork, I'm creating all the designs, and mentally, I'm quite consumed by the imposter syndrome, that I don't know what I am doing and people are going to find out that I am not creative, basically. Anyway, by the time I'm in grad school, I have learned this and I've gained this knowledge that creativity is a way of thinking, so we can train our minds to think in a particular way to come up with creative solutions. Creativity doesn't just mean that you can draw or paint, but it is a systematic way of thinking to solve problems in new fashion. And yes, some of us have a natural flair for it, but it is also a skill that can be learned through training the mind. Now my focus is less on software and more on ideas. I really learned the value of concepts, how a simple idea can be expanded to create a relevant, delightful solution. The real creative energy cooks in the mind, in the thinking process. It is not dependent on your tools or on your skills. It's about an idea. It's about the ability to think alternatively and really get into the essence of the project, really get into the essence of the problem you're trying to solve. Once you understand those goals and objectives, it's very easy to come up with a visual style, to come up with color palettes, to come up with symbols and stuff. The real energy, the real focus is in the research. Okay, so by this time, my journey of creativity has evolved into and simplified into just problem solution. What is every project? What is every assignment? What is any task at work? Basically asking the question, what problem am I solving? And this can be asked repeatedly at any phase of a particular project. Whenever I feel stuck, whenever I feel there's a lack of ideas, I just break down the task into what am I trying to solve at that particular moment. About a year ago, I learned that all of us, all human beings, are innately creative. Creativity is our natural state of being. It is an innate ability that is possessed by each and every one of us. We are all creatives, and you start to realize it when you look around the universe. Everything around us is an expression of creativity. Trees, leaves, mountains, oceans, rivers, flowers, bugs, these are all creative expressions. We are part of nature, so naturally we possess the ability to be creative in our own ways. We just need to be. Creativity flows naturally when we are not thinking, when we are not stressing, when it doesn't encounter any resistance by our mind, when we are simply enjoying whatever it is we are doing. If you're designing something and you feel stuck, maybe you need to take a break. Relax, listen to a song, do some push-ups, meditate, whatever helps you groove or take your mind off. Then approach the problem again with the calmness and you'll flow much better. Ideas will arise in the mind naturally. A lot of times we're stuck in our head, already decided that this problem is very hard, and this sort of thinking creates resistance to the natural flow of creativity. We are all creators essentially and always have been. Look at what humans have created on Earth. Languages, systems, cuisines, clothes, rockets, musical instruments, animations, art movements, so much more. Creativity is a natural state of being. Now I enjoy the design process completely. It's fun, it's rewarding. One of the reasons why I'm here on YouTube. All I did was get out of my head and believe in my ability to be infinitely creative. And this applies not only to what I do on my computer, digital design related, but I apply the same sort of thinking and enjoyment into everything else that I do, like cooking, putting together my outfit, makeup, dancing, moving stuff around the apartment, writing, doodling, nature, going out, all of it. And as I was deepening my relationship with creativity, I started noting down words that resonated with me. So kind of like a journal that I would refer to in case I was in need of a push or inspiration. I'll read you some of those. Basically, I write them like this. So creativity is XYZ, is la la la. Creativity is not fearing the unknown territory. Creativity is a way of thinking that can be applied to anything in life. Creativity is new ways of doing the same thing. It's bringing a beginner's attitude to everything. Is a limitless mind. Is being yourself in a world that breeds conformity. Is work that receives a strong reaction, negative or positive. Is to keep questioning and not getting complacent with status quo. Is a new point of view. Is to keep challenging the brain in new ways. So if you're wanting to deepen your relationship with creativity, just remind yourself that its infinite source is in you all the time, and you can tap into that source at your will. And this applies to all of us, regardless of professions, situations, passions. This concludes today's lecture. Thank you for listening to me. You can follow me on Instagram. I post a lot of colorful, happy, positive, delightful stuff, designs, ideas, thoughts, and even if it lightens up one person's day, that's awesome. And I want to just flush the collective consciousness with colors. That's my goal. Thank you again. See you next time. Bye. Camera's all right.